Hi, Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your October 2021 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Aries. How will Aries be affected by the October 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Okay. So before we even begin, this is going to be a very intense moon for you because this full moon is in Aries. So this is our own moon, and so the pull on it is going to be quite powerful. Plus, this full moon is going to be opposite Mars, and Mars rules Aries, and so once again, this amplifies the energy that's around us during this time. So let's look at what the cards have to say. At our root, we have the world, and then we have the sun. It's absolutely beautiful. We have the world coming through once again. Now, this is the equivalent of the Fool in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This is the Witch's Wisdom deck. And we have the Goddess of Air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If we have air sign energy within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully here in our inner self. We have the Tower, and we have the Nine of Cups at our heart. We have the Four of Pentacles and the Magician, as above, so below, as we believe it. So it becomes the Four of Pentacles. This is vampiric energy around money, wealth, prosperity, and power. There's going to be something here where we start to break, past ties that held us back, that kept us back, past relationships that kept us small or quiet. Let's look at the energy we have to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. We have the Lord, which is Aries energy, which is us. We have to be mindful of the energy of Aries just kind of erupting within us, meaning that we can be short-tempered, we can be moody during this time, we can be impulsive. There's going to be this sense of just kind of action seeming like the best direction forward. And during this time, kind of stepping back a bit is going to be very prominent for us, very helpful for us. We're also going to have to be very aware of the combative energy of Mars coming during this time, leading us forward. Also, the energy of Pluto, the god of death, is here too. So that's going to be a complexity that guides us, that leads us, and that we find ourselves. It's almost like we find ourselves rebelling against so much during this time, rebelling against so much of what we don't want, what we don't need, and where it is that we don't want to be. We're going to have a bit of a problem with authority figures, people telling us what to do, how to do it. We're going to think that we know better, and they're going to think that they know better. This is going to be a time where we can feel it's like a clashing of egos. So do be mindful of that, because taking in people's information, taking in people's knowledge, that's going to be helpful, but also knowing that you get to rule your life, you get to have your own power. that's going to be astoundingly beneficial. Let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. We have grounding. This is the Earth Star chakra located 6 inches below our feet. There is a sense of us connecting to our earth, to ourselves, to our ancestral power, to what we need, to what we're developing within our lives. There's also a sense of having to nourish ourselves properly, having to connect properly with the earth and what's grounding us, what's keeping us focused and centered. Now, this could be the earth itself, but this is also going to be family, friends, people that we're living for, not that we're living our life for them, but they make our life worth living. And so that's going to be something very powerful. That energy that tethers us to our goals is going to be very powerful, very important during this time. It leads us then to this time period, which is the October full moon in Aries, which is on the 20th of October. So we see here in the root that it's opening up the world. The sun is shining on us. Let's talk about things astrologically that are going on. The full moon always brings us to home, to family, to close relationships, and has us focusing on these interactions for at least the next 2 weeks. Opposing energies come into play, and we become very focused on what we can feel is out of balance. We can almost miss the whole time, miss every blessing that comes our way, because we're going to think, I just have to fix it. I just have to fix things. I just have to make everything right. And if it's not right, then I can't move forward. So that's exactly it. The energy of everything needs to be right, everything needs to be fixed, I need to put all this weight on my shoulders. This builds conflict within us, and this can become astoundingly overwhelming and astoundingly draining. So we have to be mindful of that during this time. This is a sacred moon in many cultures because of it correlating or coinciding with the hunting season and the preparation for winter in the northern hemisphere. So during this time, there's almost a sacredness to what am I getting ready for? What am I preparing for? And even in the southern hemisphere, it's the moon that brings the lushness of summer forward. It's the moon that has us, opening up to that energy. And that's also going to be equally as important, if not in a different way. This full moon in Aries is opposite Mars, which is the god of war, and Pluto, which is the god of death. We should not and should be highly advised against making quick decisions and impulsive decisions during this time, because we will regret it. The moon opposite Mars gives us this strong need to have our own way, to have what we desire fulfilled, and it can almost make us not look at the bigger picture or lose sight of the bigger picture that we were already coming in with. It's like we have these ideas when this moon starts, and then there's going to be this sense of, oh no, but I need this too, and I need that too, and I need this, and all of a sudden it becomes a mess. And so we need to kind of step back. We are driven by our passions during this time, but we have to be careful because of moodiness, because of impulsiveness, because of anger. And it can make it almost seem impossible to achieve our goals. We just feel out of sorts. We are more emotional than we are rational. And that's something that we have to acknowledge. We're not going to want to acknowledge it. We're going to think that our emotions are completely rational. But this is going to be a time where we're going to react from things more from a gut feel than from a logical, understanding of whatever's going on. For best results from this moon, we need to really understand negativity and keep our energy high. If we don't look at negativity and say, yes, I can be dragged down. Yes, I acknowledge the feelings that I'm having or the way that I'm feeling overwhelmed, we can find that we are dragged down very deeply, and that our anger drives us. But if we acknowledge our anger, we acknowledge what we want to change, our frustration within our lives, this leads us to just absolutely embracing change it within situations and not seeing it as a dead end anymore. This moon finds us acting towards our greater good and acting towards our passion if we align it with positive energy, if we align it with this sense of not feeling as if everything has to change tomorrow, not feeling as if we've already failed, because that energy can come through very powerfully. The full moon squared Pluto, we have this brings up complications for us, because we're going to have this energy that we've buried really deep down within us. And now we're going to see that it comes to the surface. Things that we don't want to look at, things that we think I'm better off left unsaid or buried or just done, they start coming to the surface. And if we're not aware of these emotions, if we do not acknowledge them, they become toxic and they bleed into every aspect of our life. And they can become debilitating because there can be this anger, there can be this frustration that we just don't understand why it's there or where it's coming from. If we know what's going on, then we can become profoundly proactive towards where it is that we want to be, and this time can be cathartic for us. Mars is squared Pluto, which brings this strong drive towards success, but also increases our desire to win through almost any cost. So that we have to be mindful of, because it can become a very controlling energy, a very ruthless energy, a jealous energy, an underhanded energy, and that's not the road we want to walk down. People's egos are going to come into play in a huge way during this time. And so we have to keep that in mind, and we have to keep focused on our goals, not being drawn into the drama and into the chaos of other people, keeping things to the facts, keeping things to what we desire, and being very direct about where it is that we want to be and how it is that we want to get there. That's going to be key for us. Now, this full moon in Aries is most closely aligned with the fixed star of Alfurg, yes, I believe that's how you say it. And this is also known as Eta Piscium. So this star is of the nature of Saturn and Jupiter, and it makes us prepared, it makes us determined, and it makes us successful. This star also rules the pineal gland, which influences our spirituality, and we're going to find that spirituality is astoundingly important to us, whether that manifests itself in an orthodoxy of a religion or whether it manifests itself in spiritual rituals. During this time, we're going to need to embrace those. We're going to need to, embody them. Nothing that happens with a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction is on a small scale. So what we have here are things happening very powerfully, very intensely, and very interactively within our lives. Alfurg is also the star of mysteries and can align us with a powerful understanding of the mysteries of existence and spirituality. It could be religion, but we also have to be very mindful that it doesn't send us towards a closed-minded dogmatism that we can't seem to kind of shake. And that can be something that is very frustrating if we come into this, with open-mindedness, and we leave with this sense of, just needing this control and finding that spirituality, religion is all about control, and it can make us feel like we've lost a sense of comfort. So that's going to be something to be very mindful of during this time. The world is opening to us at our root. The world is showing us that there are new seasons, that there are new powers, new understandings, and that we need to walk into them. This isn't going to be a time where everything is the same. This is going to be a time where we start to kind of figure out where we stand in this world, but also know that where we stand right now may not be where we stand tomorrow or the day after. And it aligns us with the sun. People are going to see a radiance to us. The moon reflects the light of the sun, and it does so in this calm, tranquil, beautiful way. And during this full moon, we're going to really feel the sun, which is in Libra, guiding us forward, leading us, showing us questions, showing us what we desire. And there's going to be this need for balance. And with the moon in Aries, it's this need for balance, but through action. And so it's not going to be through inaction. And if people take us by eyes, or if people say, why are you so lucky and I'm not, we're really going to have a hard time with not telling them off. We're not saying, because I've worked so hard, because I fought for this. And that's going to be something that we need to be mindful of, because as we embrace our own blessings, we have to understand that people are going through their own struggles too. And we can even be going through our own struggles. So when people say, oh my gosh, you're just so blessed, oh my gosh, everything just comes so easily for you, that could be something that's very hard, because we know the trials, the tribulations, the hurts, and the pains that we ourselves have had to live through. So there's going to be a light to us, there's going to be a radiance to us, but it's almost as if, as the world opens, we're leaving behind what was a dumpster fire. We're leaving behind what was lit on fire and left to burn, when we thought, nothing was going to turn out okay, when we didn't know how we were going to move forward. We didn't know where we were going to be, or what we were going to be, or where we needed to be within our hearts, within ourselves. And there is this sense of loss within us that's coming forward, that's traumatic, and that needs to be looked at, because again, with this full moon squared Pluto, we're dealing with deeply buried emotions. We're dealing with things that we didn't think needed to see the light of day, or we didn't think were important, and now we're finding how empoweringly important they are. And it leads us to the goddess of air. It leads us to starting to see the web that we've weaved, starting to see the connections of things that we didn't think were interconnected. We're starting to see the power of our voice, the power of our words, the power of our ideas. And as this comes forward, and as we embrace this, we start to say, how am I fanning the fires within me? How am I moving forward in passion? Or how am I also moving forward in doubt and despair and grief for what I have lost and what I need to mourn? The Tower comes through at the heart, because there is this sense of things have changed. Things have changed almost without my permission. Divinity has pushed me out of my comfort zone. And now there is this sense of, how do I handle this? How do I deal with this? Will I even come out the other end the way that I wanted to? My life has taken these turns that I didn't want, I didn't need, I didn't ask for. And when the Tower comes, we're going to see the questions coming. We're going to see the hurts and the pains and the disappointment. And that also, again, aligns us with the full moon squared Pluto. And we're looking at our hearts, we're looking at what we desire. And our instantaneous reaction as an Aries is going to be the moodiness, is going to be the impulsiveness, is going to be the anger. It's going to be like this wall that we want to solidify around us even more. We want to enforce that wall even more. And what Spirit is saying here is the whole point of this time is to crumble the walls, is to crumble the barriers, and to be able to kind of hold ourselves open to the sun, to see that the world is this vast place, and that what we once thought was the only way of being isn't. And as we're weaving these webs, and as we're gaining this understanding, we start to see the chaos of emotions. We start to see the trials and the tribulations and the hurts and the pains that we've been through. They weren't just to try and break us. They weren't just to test us. They were to prepare us for something more. And we have the 9 of Cups coming in, and this is sweetness like honey melting on our lips. This is a sense of beauty and tranquility and blessings coming forward. This is a sense of there's more here than meets the eye. There's power, and there's intention, and there's a desire, and there's insight, and there's ideas. And it brings us to acknowledging the vampiric energy that is around us in the public arena, acknowledging where we get just kind of so far before we doubt ourselves, before we, negate what we feel, what we desire, the way that we think we should be moving forward. And it starts to erode away at our confidence. Now, this could be a negativity that was spoken over us. We could say that this is a curse, right? Because what is a curse? A curse is negativity that was spoken over us that wheedles its way into our minds and takes away our confidence, takes away our bravado, takes away our sense of, I have every right to be successful, and makes us think, do I? And that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at the fact that there are some people in this world who are highly successful, and they're not that talented. But they believe in themselves. They believe in themselves enough for everybody else. Whereas there are people in this world who are highly talented, but not that successful. And that's because they don't believe in themselves. And this is looking at the vampiric energy that's almost like chains, like vines, trying to strangle us, trying to take the life out of us. And we're saying no. We're saying no to this energy that tries to stop us. And we're looking at the magician. We're looking at the elemental power within us. As above, so below. As we believe it, so it becomes. And we start to follow our ideas. We start to follow our truth, our understanding. This is a time where we have to stand up for ourselves. Not in an aggressive way, but in a way that says, no, I'm not moving. No, I'm not doubting me anymore. I'm not questioning me anymore. I'm not hurt by me anymore. If you have been through those times where it just feels like you're a mistake, where it just feels like you can't possibly, you know what I'm talking about. You know what Spirit is saying here. Where we look at ourselves and we think, my gosh, what is going on? How did I get here? How did this happen? And what Spirit is saying is that we are to stand before the altar of us. We are to stand before us. We can stand before a mirror. We can, embrace our hearts, our souls, however we want to visualize it, however we want to do it, and say, I claim my gifts. I claim my connection to the earth. I claim the power of my voice. I claim the beauty of my love. And I claim the passion of my spirit. I claim me with dignity, respect, and power. And nothing and no one is going to stop me. And nothing and no one is going to make me doubt who I am and why I'm here. Now let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. We have attraction. And nothing will come of this situation. Okay, that makes sense. The path. Step out of your comfort zone. Power, the full moon. The power of our hearts is coming forward. That's why we're going to be more emotional than we are going to be practical. It's a time to heal. Yeah, it definitely is. Will. Expect powerful change. Okay. So we have attraction right here with the supermoon. We have what we are attracting, and nothing will come of the situation. So we have this energy that we're attracting, and we're going to think, oh, it's going to happen like this. And this is going to be very much a time where Spirit's saying, kind of step back from your expectations and let chance, let spirit, let divinity take the wheel. Don't think, oh, I have the answers, because right now we have a lot of questions, and the answers, they will come, they will manifest themselves, they will, come to life. But right now, what we expect is not going to be what we get from this moon period, from full moon to full moon. And the next full moon is on the 19th of November. That is in Taurus, and that is a lunar eclipse. So that's astoundingly powerful. The new moon is on the 4th of November, and that's in Scorpio. We then have our path is telling us that we need to step out of our comfort zone. Our path is actually leading us out of our comfort zone, and that's why we can't have that nice handle on things that we would like to have. We're not able to say A or B, and walk forward with absolute determination and focus and understanding. It's like, okay, this is what I need. This is where I'm being led by Spirit. This is what is surrounding me, the energy that's surrounding me, the power that's surrounding me, the insight that's surrounding me. And it's taking us right now so far out of our comfort zone that it's not even funny. The full moon has tremendous power to it emotionally, and it is healing us. This full moon, unlike almost any other full moon that we've been through so far, has a healing power with us. Why? Because it's so attuned to us, Aries. It is so attuned to what we need. It's so attuned to the way that we're moving forward. It's so attuned to our energy and what we desire and, who we are, that it can't help but heal. It can't help but move us in the direction that we need to go. Our will is astoundingly strong, and it brings us to expect powerful change. It's like, will you expect powerful change? Or will you accept? That's better. Will you accept the powerful change that is coming? It brings us to our subconscious Luna message, which is discernment. Be very discerning of the energy that you let in during this time, Aries. And look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture of what you want. Don't get caught up in the details. It will be so easy to be caught up in the details and let the details define everything about this time. The subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. We have to be mindful, again, two very powerful energies, the energy of spiritual, dogma or authority, and the energy of political dogma or authority guiding us forward. We have to be very mindful of being pulled in one direction or the other. And these two energies that we have to be mindful of can also war with each other within us. There is a need here to embrace our passion, to embrace what we love, what we want, and to know that that's going to lead us forward with honesty and openness. It leads us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is play. And play is so important. It's the heart chakra. It's letting our hearts be open to joy, to laughter, to play, to beauty. And that's because a human being plays only when they feel safe. And this moon is saying, I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel connected. I want you to feel secure. Our subconscious rooted energy is the Wheel of Fortune. This moon brings change. And it can bring a change that makes us feel like we're on a roller coaster ride. It can bring a change that makes us doubt, how we're moving forward and where it is that we want to be. Know that this change leads us to something greater, something more than we anticipated. It leads us then to our subconscious inner self, and that's the 9 of water. Again, we have the 9 of cups here at our hearts. This is blessings. These are blessings emotionally, spiritually. We've felt like we've been going against the tide for so long, and now we're starting to see our hearts shine forward. We're starting to see and respect ourselves more. We're starting to see why it's been so hard, why we've been fighting so much, what we have been so determined to get to, like what we've been so determined to manifest within our lives. And that becomes the game changer of this time. It leads us to our subconscious emotional self. And that's the Ace of Cups. God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing us a gift of healing, of love, of cleansing, of doubts, of fears being washed away, of being able to open our hearts and open our minds and open what we desire to what we need and where we need to be emotionally, spiritually, and personally. We're going to see things change. Why? Because we're opening our hearts to that change and to that power. This is a very emotional time for us. I feel myself getting choked up here because it's like, I've been carrying around so much, so deep. And this is a time where I look at everything that I've been carrying, everything that I've been doubting or fearing or, trying to really understand. And now it's starting to come to the surface. And now I'm starting to see myself be able to release a chapter of my life, be able to release hurts and pains and mistakes that I have made, and be able to move forward in love and acceptance of me. It moves us then to our subconscious public arena self, and that's the Four of Cups. This is awareness. This is a gift coming in that doesn't necessarily feel like a gift. It can feel like, oh my gosh, now I have one more thing added onto my plate. Are you kidding me? This awareness changes the game. We become aware of what we want. We become aware of what we're moving forward towards. This gift comes in, and it's like having a clay bowl, set before you. That's a cup or a bowl, or it's both actually. And it's this thing that was made, that was crafted with care and with love, but it's not shiny, it's not pretty, it's not something you would pick out on a shelf. And so here we're going to think, oh, it doesn't have the worth that others and things do. But Spirit is saying, oh no, it has more worth. Because if you knew the hands that sculpted it, if you knew the love put into it, you would have it be your most treasured possession. So be mindful of that, Aries. The repeat of the number 4 in the public arena self, okay, means that we need to focus on our home, we need to focus on our health, and we are also going to find that we take things very seriously, maybe a little bit too seriously, but we're also going to find that certain things are dying away, certain things are transforming, and we have to embrace that transformation. All right, Aries, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries, and may you have a blessed moon.